Let's see now how the modal verbs work when they're used in the passato prossimo. When I say modal verbs, I mean potere, volere, and dovere. As you know, these verbs are usually followed by an infinitive form of another verb. For example, io posso parlare. The verb posso, coming from potere, is followed by parlare, an infinitive form of a verb. Same thing, tu puoi andare, lui vuole studiare, lei vuole venire, noi dobbiamo lavorare, voi dovete partire. So parlare, andare, studiare, venire, lavorare, partire, there are all infinitive forms of verbs that follow the modal verbs. Now, let's try to see how they work when they're used in the passato prossimo. The first thing that we have to remember is that passato prossimo is a compound tense, so it's formed by two words. And the second one is called the past participle. So we need the past participle of potere, volere, and dovere. So they're all regular. So you drop ere and you add uto. So we have potuto, voluto, and dovuto. Okay. Then, as you know, the first word of the passato prossimo can be essere, io sono, tu sei, lui è, etc., or avere, io ho, tu hai, lui ha, etc. Now, with modal verbs, we can use both of them. We can use avere or we can use essere. It depends on the verb that follow the modal verb. For example, they try to make this sentence, io posso parlare, to transform this sentence in a past tense, in passato prossimo. So we have to transform io posso in the passato prossimo. What we have to do, I have here the past participle, potuto, but it's not enough. I have to find out first if I must use avere or essere as the first word. Now, since parlare requires avere, so you use avere for potere. So the result will be io, since you use avere, will be ho, and then you use the past participle of the verb potere, potuto, and then you simply add the infinitive form of the verb parlare. So io posso parlare is the present tense, io ho potuto parlare is passato prossimo. Let's try to see what happened with the second sentence. Tu puoi andare. Okay. Now, you remember that andare is a movement verb, is an intransitive verb, is part of the house of essere, so requires the verb to be. In this case, we have to, and since andare require to be, and I mean essere, the form of essere that goes with to is sei, and then you have to use the past participle of potere, potuto andare. Now you remember that when you use the verb essere as an auxiliary, you must make the agreement between the subject and the past participle. Now, with tu, we pretend that tu is singular masculine, but let's pretend that this tu is not masculine, but is feminine. We are talking to Mary. So, what it will be the result? It won't be potuto, but it will be tu, tu sei potuta andare. Since, as I said, we pretend this tu is Mary, is feminine and singular. Let's try to see the other example and to do exactly the same thing. Lui vuole studiare. I want to make this passato prossimo. So, lui, since studiare requires avere, it will be lui ha, and then voluto studiare. Let's see this example now. Lei vuole venire. Be careful now. Venire, you know that requires essere as an auxiliary verb. So we have lei. What is the form of essere for lei? Is è. Lei è. Then voluta, since lei is feminine, lei è voluta venire. Let's see the last two examples. Noi dobbiamo lavorare. Passato prossimo, noi. Lavorare requires avere, so noi abbiamo dovuto lavorare. Remember, if I use avere as an auxiliary, I don't have to pay attention to the past participle. It will always be ino. Now let's see what happened here with voi dovete partire. Since partire is a movement verb, is an intransitive verb, is part of the house of essere, partire requires essere. So voi, and then we need the right form of essere for voi, so siete, and then the past participle of dovere, so dovu, but wait, since voi is plural, and we pretend that voi in this case is plural and masculine, will be voi siete dovuti, and then simply add the infinitive form of the verb, partire. Voi siete dovuti partire, but now, as we did with tu, no? I want to imagine that this voi is feminine, so this voi could be like, I don't know, let's say Francesca e Giovanna. So, voi, Francesca e Giovanna, so voi, like you all. In this case, again, siete dovu, but in this case we will have dovute, since Francesca and Giovanna, non meaning voi, make a plural and feminine group. So we must use dovute and then partire. Okay. Now the last case. What happened if the modal verbs are not followed by an infinitive form of the verb? In those cases, we simply use avere. I'm just give you an example in Italian. Non sono venuto perché non ho potuto. You see, in this case, I did not come because I couldn't. In this case, after, let me put like this. In this case, after potere, no, non ho potuto, you don't have an infinitive form. So when you have a sentence where the verb potere, dovere, and volere in the past, in the passato prossimo, are not followed by an infinitive, you must use always avere as the auxiliary. Okay.